like to call to order. It is 6:30.
Right on time.
Minutes look good to me.
Okay, Chairman, any comments from the
I
members?
do have some comments on the minutes.
Okay.
I was digging through, trying to find each one of these, the cost of each one of these things. I know we have them in other places. Funding source. I don't think we thoroughly covered each one of those items. Now, he listed funding sources, probably that were mentioned in the minutes, I'm sure. In the video.
You know
Yeah.
what? I actually have a sheet here in which I wrote down how all the funding sources supposedly we were gonna do.
Okay.
Yeah,
So-
I was jotting them down across it, so.
Yeah, so we do, but we wanna verify that what I have here is correct too.
In general, in my mind, I was looking at these things, and there's several things that say ARPA funds, and we only have 400,000, which actually is a fair amount. But
Well, we don't
I
want
was,
anybody else to get it, so.
well, actually, everybody's getting a piece of it if you look at it that way.
Well, they did before, they won't now, really.
Well, no, it's different things, obviously. The security system at the schools.
Oh, no, what I mean
Who's gonna
is,
fight that?
everybody outside this committee
Yeah,
picking away at it like a little mouse at cheese.
yeah, oh, yeah, yeah. Grant bond, enterprise funds, ARPA funds unused for the building maintenance, security systems, ARPA. I was just wondering if there was actually enough money in ARPA to pay for all those.
There
items.
is.
I think when we did it up, we still
Yeah.
had 60 or 100K
Yeah,
or something like that.
Yeah, it was small, it wasn't a lot.
There wasn't a ton, but
40 or 50
at the same
maybe,
time, we don't want to leave a ton.
but that's okay, because let them pick the bones.
Well, and then after, didn't Austin say there's a chance that the security something might have gotten picked up that we had said was gonna be ARPA and,
No, there was the DPW maintenance. There was a chance that there was gonna be green funds from that because it's a big deal on the heating and,
There are about 3 or 4 things that could possibly be funded by grants.
yeah.
But since we don't know what they are, all I could do is say, grant being requested, grant funds
Yeah.
requested, that's it. So,
some of that could reduce the amount
Right.
of ARPA, and now we've built
know,
it back up.
is there anything else on the minutes, Mike?
No, basically the minutes are pretty good.
Okay.
I mean, did you want, you talked about, obviously on this sheet, we've got all the amounts. Do you want me to add an amount to each of these? That's why I put what was
No.
left, no?
You don't need to.
Okay.
Because they're gonna be in
Enterprise
here in the
ARPA.
report, so they don't.
Public
really
Works
need to be-
Building, I didn't have a source on that because I thought it might be green funds,
Right.
Security system, ARPA. Okay, now I'm looking at the pricing, yeah. All right, I have no problem with that, the minutes.
Dan, you got anything you wanna say or comments on the opening before we get to the minutes?
No.
Okay, Chris? All right,
I'll
Mike?
make a motion, we accept the minutes
Okay,
from our December meeting.
I'll second.
I have no objection. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Please say,
Sorry.
I'd like to start saying the name for the record now, so
Gracie, aye.
Horace and I.
Ferguson, aye.
Second aye, okay? And, Kristen is not here. Okay. Let me get these passed out. I kind of started with the highest rating first. Okay. I kind of started with the highest rating first and then moved down to the lowest. So let's take this. Okay. All right, let's read, if you would, just read the opening remarks there. And look at anything. If there's something we should add, something we should take out or change somehow to give them a real good understanding of how this committee is working and what we've done. And So I don't want to get into any item, I just want to do that first paragraph.
Oh, the first paragraph, right.
There was some discussion at the select board meeting regarding the bylaw of the committee in regards to one of the members thought that we had total authority to recommend and basically purchase equipment, which is not our purview.
No.
So that's why I'm trying to be very specific in this report that says that, the last couple of lines.
Now, Harry,
Making recommendations.
The only question I have is the amount that you've got down there, 3,362,950.
Please, yeah, it's gonna be changed.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because we
I-
moved the
I
carpet
did
out,
that
so it should
before I
be
reevaluated.
minus 125.
It actually comes to 2,877,950. Because I've taken out the $1 million for the fire station that was there, plus two other items.
2,8. Say that number again.
Two other?
2,877,950. What I've taken out is the carpeting
Yep.
and the fire station,
The study.
the study,
Yeah.
the design study. I took those
Carpeting we're
two
putting
items out.
off till the
Yeah, I'm moving
following
that
year.
till next year. Yep.
Wouldn't it, because the design and construction was what, 10 mil?
Right, but he
So if
only,
we were 13,362,950 minus 10 gets 3.362 minus 125K, shouldn't that still be like 3.1?
Yeah.
well, let's look at it to make sure that's right. Let's add that up.
We were looking at the,
Well, four heads are better than one, that's for sure.
yeah,
I double checked, but that could be right.
125 is the carpet.
Right,
And then
125
the
is
fire
coming up.
station design.
Is 10 mil.
we were looking at the whole thing in one package rather than 1 mil and 9 mil. We were looking at each
Right.
10.
And, you know, we talked about this, we can't really make a decision on the design and construction because it has to go to the building committee.
Yeah.
We are strongly,
Now, is Bradford gonna sit on that committee?
if it ever gets developed, somebody from this committee will sit there. That's the way it's being
Because
designed.
Austin asked him at a meeting, a couple of meetings ago, he said, I'd love to be on that. So,
Good fit.
Okay, let's take this. 13,263.6, well, maybe I was off on the 13 too. So I did the 1,005,000. The 400,000. Plus the 300. Plus the 280. Plus the 52.
those were in an older set of notes. Minutes. Review of town funds, there we go. Roughly 3.4.
We're skipping the 25, we're skipping the. So that's 60. That is 60 and 60, 20. And 45. Okay, and that comes to, I cleared it, 3,200,000 and something thousand. I think you were right, Chris.
I got 3,237,590.
Okay,
I don't know.
That's
So
what,
you're just doing this 3,362 minus
590 or
125?
950?
No, I added all of these,
Okay.
all of these up with the
I said
exception of
590.
125 and 10, so I added,
1 million, I'm sorry, 3 million. What'd you get, Chris?
I got 3,237,590.
Okay.
You're right, I mean, that's not 3.3362. 50 minus
Well, I missed
125,
400,000 there somewhere.
See, if you take your number, you're at 3,237,950, and I got 590, so I don't know if one of us transposed the, the last.
No, I don't know. I thought I added 950, but 7, 3, 12. There's only three numbers that can affect it, 637, 356, and 957. Those are the only numbers that can affect it.
Yeah.
No, you're right, I'm getting 1,950, so.
Yeah, 950. Okay. So 3,237, 950. That'll be the number that'll go in the report then.
All right.
I guess that's all those quotes you have to do for your Windows, Chris. But yeah, does this first paragraph look good? 'Cause the committee understands that the final funding source is the town through final recommendation, select board. I don't want us to be seen in here that we are making the final recommendations to the town, because we can't. That's not our job.
No.
We can't propose the funding, and even in here, I say that the funding sources.
Yeah, that's what we decided is the number.
Okay. And I did say, as will be noted, there are various funding sources available for which the committee recommended only those that they felt would not involve an increase of the tax rate as our guidelines stipulate in the committee bylaw.
Right.
Okay.
Worst case, it's a bond for something like the truck, but hopefully,
I mean, we could be right on some of this, or most of it, or all of it. Or none of it.
that'd be nice if all of it.
After all the work we did.
Yeah.
Okay, so we okay on the number? Dan, you good
I
with
got
it?
the same number. Yeah.
Okay. Let's look at the fire department, new ladder truck. That was our first choice.
Is it actually 23 years old now? I
Yeah.
thought it was 25 this year. Did I misunderstand that?
I thought I remember him saying it was a 2,000.
It's a 25-year life,
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. It's a
which
2,000.
if we understand that, at the end of 25 years, it can no longer be the primary vehicle that goes to a fire. It has to be a secondary. So somebody else responds first. If nobody can respond, they can use the fire truck, but it's past its life expectancy.
Right.
And that's the problem.
And if the ladder fails, it's beyond repair.
It's beyond repair.
Yeah.
So that, and you can only, according to,
I think Seth also said that he's not eligible for a grant until it's 25.
I thought he said he's gonna be applying for it. Now that once we fund the fire truck, he can apply for a grant. But I think you're right, his chances of getting a grant, if it's not
I think he said he was
25
gonna
years.
apply for one every year, and every
Right.
year that goes by, he gets closer to,
It's been on the list for 5 years now. Yeah, that sort of
Right.
thing. Right.
Right. So Seth said that you can only do a 10-year bond on a fire truck.
Right.
So that's gonna be about, roughly with interest and everything, about 200,000 a year coming out of the operating capital. Grants will be applied for. The grant for the last ladder truck funded approximately 80% of it when he got it 20-some years ago.
When he applied, he did say he was applying for a 95% grant.
Yeah.
That was 4 years ago or something,
Well,
right? Remember?
yeah. I just assume that they apply for the maximum that they
Yeah.
can get. They may not be given 95%.
Because at that time, I think the cost was like just over $1 million.
Yeah, we were looking at 50 grand.
Yeah.
Cheap money for a fire
Yeah.
truck.
And I think he said too that there was like 200 or 250, yeah, thanks, Mike. There was like 200 or 250 applicants in the United States and only like 5% of them get it
Yeah.
or something, so, okay.
So he's maximizing his odds by doing it year after year.
Right, and again, this will have to be explained to the town. This is our report to
Right.
the powers that be. But I want to make sure our language is correct and we all agree on it. I try not to be too flowery or too emphatic on why we need it. I'm just trying to present the facts that make sense to the board. Austin already knows this stuff. So his Seth's estimate is we're gonna drop from 20,000 a year down to about 2,500 a year for the first 5 years. Which will be good because that's an extra 15 grand that can be applied to the note that's being paid out. And I also tried to emphasize that it's 2025 due to its expected build time of 3 to 4 years, could push it outside of its primary useful life. Any comments on here that we need to change or you want to see added, deleted?
Not on the fire truck. I've read everything else though.
Everybody good on that one?
Was good.
Okay. DPW, this is the cleaning van. ARPA funding. There are no grants available for this. This was the second highest rated item. For replacing a 2004 GMC HMA, because that thing there is now 20. I had the guy, he went down my street with a plow from DPW. There was no snow in my street, except a little bunch here and there, and so he's cleaning that out of the way to clean the street. And I stopped him, and the truck he was using looked like it had been well patched.
Well patched.
Well patched. You can see
What kind of
the
truck
rust.
was it?
It was a dump truck, a small dump
A
truck.
small dump. Okay.
Yeah. An F-450.
Yeah, I think I've seen that truck. Yeah.
Yeah. And of course, the plow looked awful, but, so, that again, his comment to me was, I said, how old's this truck? He said, doesn't matter, everything's old at DPW. So I said, well, we're trying to correct that. It is unquestionably to pass, and that's the one he said that, he said it probably won't pass inspection again.
All right, that's what I was gonna say, keeping in mind, not trying to make the language too forceful, but
Right.
we maybe could go a little more forceful on this, because it's not so much questionable as anticipated it would not pass inspection, right?
So we can change that, sure.
Yeah, that might
And
be,
it-
that just does make the point.
Yeah.
We've gotten full life out of this thing.
And, okay, so you want to get rid of questionable shape?
Let's
It
say,
is
since
in-
this vehicle's over 20 years old and would not be anticipated to pass inspection.
Okay. Okay. All right. We good with that one?
Mhm.
Repairs and maintenance to Public Works Garage Building. Approximate cost $60,000. I tried to explain,
Green Communities Grant Program.
yeah, all the stuff in there. I went in there a lot because he had down there 3 years, 2020, 20, and we decided to combine it.
Right. Makes,
So that's what I'm trying to convey to them, that why we saw this, and it could be a grant through that. And this is the one that I don't know what they're gonna do with, but it was our recommendation to repurpose outstanding articles to fund the 60,000. The problem with that is you have to, when it comes to the articles in May, they have to put a separate article on to repurpose each individual article. So if it's $8,000 left over, that has to be repurposed for this. If it's 10,000, 15, so each individual article has to be repurposed to get to the 60. But my hope is that they will come up with a way to say, let's fund the 60,000 out of cash, and then when they repurpose the articles, the article money will go back into the fund, into the cash fund.
I think this one looks good overall. It looks like there's one typo maybe.
Okay?
Halfway down on the second page. By this capital improvement, it will save on, I think it's supposed to be considerable.
Let's see here.
Considerable. Yeah.
Let me find out where oh, yeah. It will save on considerable, BLE, okay, fuel costs. Remember when we,
Repurpose, what it says, repurposes of outstanding articles over 2 years old. Is there $60,000 there?
there's over, yeah.
To repurpose them?
I think you
We
said
got
it was
some-
$100,000.
A lot of the
was going in.
articles are 2021 articles
Yeah.
that have been sitting there. Some, I'd say half used, but the other half haven't. We go back to the senior center, that's a 2015 article. That's 9 years old.
Yeah.
You know, type of thing, so. Yeah, I think there's enough there to get to 60 on that. But again, that's just our recommendation, because we're trying to control the tax rate and not trying to use cash if we can use other stuff, so.
Now, who's in charge of repurposing that article or figuring out where there's cash on?
Finance committee
Finance.
and town administrator. Select board has to approve those articles, so ultimately, and then it goes to the finance, they present it to the town. Okay. All right. Rutland School Security System, that rated next.
I realize they don't live. I know, whatever, yeah.
The only item in here that's a little contentious, you guys need to give me your opinion on, is that last paragraph under that one.
Yeah, I'm not sure what to say about that. I mean, basically what you got there in a nutshell is what happened, but,
I tried to leave any name out other than WSRD.
yeah.
Well, it should be RDS, WR, Wachusett Regional School System. Yeah, sometimes I get those backwards.
I think that sort of security system for our schools is overdue. That's my opinion. I mean,
Is what? I'm sorry.
Before we deal with the last paragraph, there looks like
found
two minor typos.
Two typos in the
Okay.
second paragraph.
First line of the full paragraph there, these items have all, I think it should be been rated.
Okay.
And then the next line down, Rutland Public Safety and,
oh yeah.
Oh, yeah, WR. Sometimes I'm getting dyslexic, guys, I gotta tell you.
I make typos all the time and I reread 10 times.
You've got WSRD again.
and, yeah, it's the word and then the
Yeah,
WRSD.
I read my thing, work over and over again and don't see my own typos. They just don't register.
and you know,
And I
some,
read through that paragraph and I didn't see those, and
and
it's simple, but
sometimes you
they're.
use spell check, but it doesn't pick stuff like this up.
No.
Okay. So what's your on the, were you, I don't know, were you on board, Dan, when we did this?
Yeah, when
We
Dave-
brought Dave in
Dave,
and we
yep.
got the vendor in, or I met with him and all that stuff? Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So I don't know. See, when it comes to safety of the school, and I say, you know, and we're putting it on there, I don't want them to think like, well, how come we're just doing it now if it's such a big issue for safety? I'm trying to give it some historical sequence. But this will also go into the annual report for the book. overall comments on it. I don't care one way or another. I just wanted to provide some clarity, but
Yeah.
we don't.
Well, we
need it.
could get the same point across with slightly different language to make it a little less confrontational, like
Okay,
something to the effect of, leave it the first part the same, brought in a security vendor for advice, but then it did not proceed beyond WRSD review or something to that effect.
actually, it never went to WRDS.
Where did it die?
It died. Dave was working on the school, but he talked to the school several times. He didn't get anywhere, so that's why he came to us. So to try to kind of go around the school if he could. But once we sat down, the vendor never got back to us. And I'm thinking they probably shut him down. Because I met with the vendor once in, where did I meet with him? Where did I meet with him? Which studio? No, Town Hall maybe?
He met
The
with
vendor
us
came
Yeah.
to, I think it was at Wood Studio.
Yeah,
at one of our meetings.
Yeah.
Did you
Right.
meet with him again after that, or?
yeah.
Yeah. So
And nothing happened. He didn't come back. He didn't give us a quote. He did nothing.
I
So
know.
I
The
The
can
district
only,
shut him down?
I'm assuming that's the case. And here's the other thing, that if we had done that at that time, Wachusett was available for a grant to take care of all 3 schools. And they didn't move forward with it. So that kind of ticked me off a little bit. So yeah, it might be a little bit of overkill here.
I'm fine with.
And this was,
yeah.
this was under the old superintendent. This is not under the new superintendent, so
This was McCall.
that's the other thing, yeah. You know, so that's right, the committee had looked into it and bought in a security vendor for advice, but the project never proceeded. How's that?
Yeah. Yeah, that works.
You guys okay with that?
Yeah.
like I said, in my mind, in this day and age, that's almost a no-brainer, if you can find a way to
Yeah.
fund it.
Yeah,
You gotta have security. And, we're not talking millions here.
No, I think for the 3 schools, that's,
Seems pretty reasonable,
I
right?
thought it was gonna be a lot more expensive than that when we looked at it several years ago.
Less than 200 grand for all 3 schools.
I know. So this is, maybe we can get grant funding for this under some, I don't know, town, But anyway, so, okay, I'll make those changes, we'll get that. Moving on then, if we're okay with that one.
Yep.
Sidewalk and parking lot reconstruction. I mean, we're giving the schools a lot of money. We're recommending a lot of money for the schools and this stuff, but considering, I don't think I've ever recommended this kind of stuff to the school for the last 10 years,
No.
you know?
You put bond package. Isn't it possible that there could be, that the other, the town manager and stuff might decide to spend that money we got, the $1 million we got for the land, or something like that
You
instead,
could well do that.
rather than putting out a bond, trying to float a couple of different bonds and everything.
Yeah, these are all just our recommendations though,
Yeah.
right?
But,
Again,
but I
they're-
think last meeting we discussed your point of the bond was we're paving it, but people coming in 2, 3, 4, 5 years are gonna be getting the utilization of a brand new
Right.
parking lot, so
Right.
why not have,
All the new families moving
Everybody.
into town that have kids going to school that will use the parking lot, they're the ones
them
who are also
contribute a
gonna
little
pay
bit
for
too, yeah.
that versus taking $1 million lump sum out of the coffers and then having no responsibility for it in the future. So that was kind of my,
I'm shy.
Yeah, and then just the same thing with the acronym, the WRST.
did I do it again?
Yeah.
Where my brain was on.
Dyslexic.
Okay.
Well, you're probably in the zone at that point. You're just typing it.
I could have been, I've been working on this for hours and that's so it's
That's
like.
what I mean.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, we all right with, whoops. There we go again, the big ones. That one was good, okay. All right, DPW sewer utility van. This one was kind of no-brainer, except we talked about cash, but I thought this is another case where we use 5 years, lease it for 5 years, because then new people coming into town who's hooked up to the sewer, they'll help pay for that cost with income coming in versus a one-shot deal just for the people who are already there. Because this van is gonna last for 10 years anyways. So that was my thought for leasing.
Well-
I didn't wanna rob the money in the sewer fund, considering we look ahead, all the money that's gonna be needed for sewer. I didn't wanna rob that out of there. Now, they could change their mind
They
and
can
do
change,
anything they
right.
want.
Yeah, I wouldn't argue that. It seemed, the last time I saw money listed was Joe Buckley, when he gave us a listing of money, and it looked like there was enough enterprise funds in water and sewer to pay for items like this that they want to buy. But at the same time, what you're saying is true. There's bigger projects coming down the road for both of them.
Right, if you look at 2027, I believe that's when the $167,000 payment, annual payment starts going out
Yeah,
for the sewer infrastructure and relaying of pipe.
yeah.
So that was,
There's always gonna be need for that, water and sewer. As they're finding out here, they're being forced to relay both water and sewer places.
yeah, where do we get to 2030 when they're gonna request a $10 million bond to do everything? Hopefully, I'll be around here still. Okay. Any comments on that one? The reason I put into the body and frame are rusted and in repair is we took a tour of the facility and the van was there that they used for that. And it was in tough shape.
Now, I think we had discussed where we had kind of gotten both of these vans confused a little bit. And we had said if we had realized this van was in bad a shape, 17 may have actually been closer to the, 35 that the other one was. So I don't know if we want to leave that at 17, or do we want to amend that higher than,
Well, one of the reasons I think I would not go for putting it higher is because it didn't have the immediate necessity of repair. It could go another year under inspection. It could still pass inspection.
okay,
That was not one of the ones that was really that bad. And since we've already given him, what was it, DPW sewer utility van. We had already done last year, we've approved a couple of things for him. We're giving him the garage building, the custodial van. We're always giving him or recommending a lot of money for him that I didn't necessarily want to score it any higher.
okay.
The next one, Glenwood School Playground, I don't know how I could have said it more importantly than just spelling out Americans with Disability Act issues. Has anybody been down to see the playground?
Yeah, I've been through there.
I have not been over at Glenwood in a couple of years.
You're talking about the playground around back.
And Glenwood,
Yeah,
Not Naquag.
Naquag.
or at Central Tree. I'm talking about the one off at Glenwood, that's down in the
yeah,
valley.
I have,
No, I haven't seen that one. There are issues behind Naquag, steps and stuff that could interfere with ADA.
I think Naquag got a grant, but I don't know if it's just for the playground or if it's for the area surrounding the playground.
I think it was
as
just
well.
for, 100,000 just for the playground.
Just for the playground, so
Okay.
it doesn't.
So they're gonna take care of that there.
Yeah,
Okay. Now that I'm remembering it, that we did bring that up once before, somebody brought that up.
so, and the reason I had ARPA funds down there and we do it is because when you look at and Chris, you can tell me probably more about it. but it's not, the surface is not right. So you can't get a wheelchair through there or over it. And the entrance to come in, I guess, is rough. You can't get, it's tough to get a wheelchair into the entrance. So that was the main,
Yeah. I think it's either getting it in or getting it out. I think it drops down, so if you turn around and try to get it out, not only are you pushing it through mulch or, but then you're trying to go through that and up. And
so
doesn't
the
work.
individual, the kid themselves can't do it.
No.
Even with help, it's probably hard.
Yeah, that would almost be a situation where you need two people on either side to lift it up, and
That's not.
that's not.
Right, and that's, yeah, so that's
We're not
why I
doing that.
stressed ADA.
Yeah.
You know, that, to why we should.
Yeah, and that's exactly the reason why we didn't give it an overall number. We would look at the first category,
Right,
the A category, legally required, yes.
right. ADA,
Yeah.
no question. And then that takes care of our recommendations, and I just not recommended. The fire design and construction, you can read there again. And Naquag Elementary School carpet replacement be moved to 2026.
I'm looking at notes we had made about the community center, senior center,
Yeah,
276. Isn't it our recommendation that is being pushed off to the future also?
we were going, I think we recommend, I don't know if I,
Hey,
no, but there were certain things they needed that we were gonna recommend it push to the town.
Yeah, because
They take care of this, because it's ADA.
Yeah,
It should
the bathrooms that are ADA are not huge ticket items. They don't have to rebuild them from scratch or anything. At least in my opinion, when I saw them, it was a matter of widening panels and entranceways and things.
I did put in here, the town hall and community center have been on CIPC's radar for many years as well.
Okay.
The committee also felt compelled to forward them to a building committee
Yeah,
for study.
but those little replacements, I think those things you're talking about, Mike, those were small money things.
Yeah.
They were
The
under
toilet
10.
and
Yeah.
Things like that,
If you
yeah,
added them all together, they were,
Yeah.
right.
but I think
But
if you
barely
looked at
even audit altogether,
individually,
yeah.
I mean, we had all the other junk too, the siding and the windows.
Right, and that's where.
Building committee.
Because
Right.
that thing is in such rough shape, it's like, it's,
I agree. I just didn't know if you wanted to make a note about putting them off.
no, I did, that should have
Yeah,
been
okay.
on for many years, and it should be also to the committee.
Yeah.
So, any other changes or questions on these here, guys?
the second one, Naquag Elementary, the second sentence, I think we got a typo, it says the committee it needed to space out.
Okay, get rid of it. Needed to space out the funding. This one was a hard one for me to kind of explain why we're pushing it off. But considering how much money we're spending on the school,
But you've also, the other thing that we said was it Glenwood or one of the other schools was looking to do carpet next year too. So we
Right.
were thinking just lump the carpet
It might be
into
a
one,
better value.
one bid or one
you know what, I can add that in.
supplier or something.
Yeah.
Glenwood.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Whatever happened to they wanted new carpeting upstairs here?
Oh, I think they got it,
Yeah, I think they got
Got it already?
yeah.
I haven't been upstairs in 5 years.
Because there were a few things that they were asking for that they got.
Okay,
I think that was one of them.
all right.
Okay, good point, Chris, thanks. I'll add that in there, that makes more sense, okay. And then the last page. This is, I want your opinion on this. This is a lot of work. And if I don't have to do it, if we don't have to list it, all we'll do is list the values for the years. I started doing 2026 and listing it and giving them idea, because we're not rating anything this year. We can't do anything, and all we want to do is give the Finance Committee, Select Board, and Austin an idea of how much money is coming up that we're going to be looking at for capital needs, without going into really specifics, because I don't know if that's going to mean anything to them.
Just curious.
Because we haven't even but if I do it for one, I have to do it for all of them.
Yeah, Just curious, refresh my memory, what's the 11 million in 2030? What did that include?
That's the 10 million
that's-
water,
Yeah, 10
water
million.
infrastructure,
The water infrastructure, okay.
water and sewer infrastructure.
And that doesn't include an alternate water source?
No.
Well,
No,
that's a whole other animal.
right.
That would be strictly on the enterprise account.
Just out of curiosity, here you've got 2,565, and here you've got 2,265. And the other thing is, if we're pushing the carpet to next year, should we add that to next year as well?
Did I, hold on a second.
Glenwood on there.
Glenwood, yeah, we were gonna do the two schools together. You just mentioned that a minute ago. Or
Okay.
recommend they do them together.
Yep. So, okay, so all of this adds up to 2265, you said, without the,
Well, I don't know, cause on your sheet that you had sent out, unless you added wrong on this one, you've got 2,565. So $300,000 difference, did you take something?
Did you reverse numbers?
No, cause,
No, I mean, just a typo, you know what I mean?
yeah, I don't,
well, there's nothing on here that's 300,000, so I don't know where the difference would come in. Is there something from here that was 3 that I moved over? No?
Well, I think the 160 for the DPW sewer first year payment, at least it's not listed in here. Maybe I didn't know if that wasn't.
Yeah, I have that here.
Not the amount, though.
Yeah, first year payment, 5-year plan, I didn't add that in there. Okay.
So that
Let
could
me
be
add
part
that
of
in
it.
there, 160, yep. I'll have to re-add those then.
yeah.
What did you come up with?
Well, I just added all these up on the sheet that we kinda used last time, and I got 2,565 with just these items, and like I said, that does not include pushing the 60,000 for the carpet.
And that's without the 160 or with the 160?
Where's the 160 coming from, I'm
The
sorry?
sewer,
2026 DPW sewer is the header. It's the first of 5-year plan payment.
The 2,565 includes the 160.
Okay. So then we're missing the other carpeting, which was 60? No,
125.
so that would bring this to 2,690,000, 2,690,000.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting.
Okay. All right. Because I got graphs and everything that if we have to present before anybody will show them, I'll have to correct all that.
you still have me listed as the clerk on the bottom.
What's that?
You still have me listed as clerk on the bottom.
Yeah, because that's the way you're listed on the website. Even though Chris is doing it.
Thank you, Chris.
Officially, officially, I have to list you as a clerk.
Okay. Oh.
Sorry,
There,
Chris.
there's no N in,
There's a double N.
yes, there's a double.
I knew that when I did it. I don't
And
know how
I think that's the
it in.
same way on our agenda too. The agenda has it misspelled as well. I think there's an
No.
extra N on the
Oh,
agenda.
yeah. That should be B-O-R,
R-E-S, nope, E-S-O-N.
oh, Orison, okay, get rid of that one. Okay,
I think the E confuses everybody. If it was an I, I'd just be like, it's Morrison, but if it gets with the B, but the E just.
okay, so what's your feelings on type A, listing everything? Or on type B, just listing the years and the dollar values for those years without becoming too technical?
Well, I think it's a good idea to throw in those items on 2026. It just shows what's coming down, and you can read between the lines for the other years. Some people are gonna have an idea, but I think it would be too much to break down every,
It's too many
Yeah.
papers, too many pages that have to be put into the
Yeah.
book and everything.
I like it like this. I think
yeah.
So we'll
listing
just,
26, so, cause it's, you know, really on the radar, but the rest just putting a number. I think that's enough detail. I wouldn't just put a number for 26. I think it's a good idea.
so I can, we can put in there that this is an example of the types of stuff that's coming up before the committee in one year.
Not written in stone, but.
Not written in stone, right.
No, anything, and the further out you go, so it really makes less sense to do the follow-up years because,
More likely to change, yeah.
And again, when we look at window replacement, $75,000, well, that's another year off. So what's gonna happen to the center, considering we're looking at all these buildings, the town hall, all that stuff, we don't know, so.
For 26 under DPW, you've got the F-250 field truck. You're missing the R in replacement.
Yeah, okay. Good, we don't want a shabby work to go there, that's for sure, get out of here.
e-placement. I read that 5 times and didn't see the title.
Okay. What I'd like to do then, once I get this whole thing typed up and ready to go, I'd like to see if I can meet each one of you somewhere. We don't have to call a special meeting, so I can get everybody's signature on here for as a formal document, so we can get it out,
All right,
okay?
The next line down for the sewer, 5-year, you're missing the L in plan.
First year payment, 5-year plan of the I&I refurbish.
Yeah,
What did I do wrong for, pan. Plan, okay. That Naquag mobile wall replacement, you know how many years that's been available on our, coming to us, Mike?
yeah.
A lot.
I've seen it before. I don't ever remember talking about it in detail though.
Yeah,
For some reason, we weren't.
I went over to the school and they showed us the thing, what was wrong with it, the wheels on it, how it wouldn't come out anymore, and it was like, what a mess. But
25 years ago, we started a volleyball league in that gym. And the first night we went in there to set up the nets and everything, that was closed. And we never got it open. We didn't start until the following week because we couldn't close it.
yeah,
And we went and around the building and found there was a maintenance guy still there, and he says, "Oh, I can't do that." Okay, that was 25 years ago.
to be honest with you, I think 100,000 is cheap.
Yeah.
To put up a whole new wall, refurbish it, that's cheap.
Well, it's, I don't know, I have no idea.
Bifold doors like that.
Yes.
Okay. So any other comments about this? Is there any other headings you want to do or explanations you want to put in here?
No, get us all to sign it, then you can send it to yourself, right?
Yeah.
Among other people. I,
Because I'd like to get it to Austin by next week.
yeah, it's a good thing, and it'll go to all the select board, but it'll also go to the finance and,
Yeah, I'll send a copy to each one of them, make sure they get a copy.
yeah.
Good work, guys. I mean, this was a lot of work we did
And
on this.
you, compared to some of the stuff we've done in the past, this is quite
Yeah,
a handful. Looking at $10,000 items and small tickets.
yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should have been with us for the first 14 years, nickel diming over.
But no, I think it's a good thing, and I think it's a good thing that you're on the select board because you can make sure they fully understand.
I mean, even if I wasn't, I would go to the meeting when they were discussing this stuff.
Yeah.
And I may still have to step down and go out in the audience, but at least, yeah, I can describe what's going on to them.
All right.
Yeah, so And as you probably, well, as Austin showed us, that next year, 2025, could be a tough year for the town. Even with all the money we have, we could still be 600,000 in the hole.
Well, we'll see.
And then-
It's, I'm not sure why, but,
Well, things are happening in town, let me tell you.
yeah.
So some of the stuff I can't talk about because it was executive session, but
Okay.
things are happening.
But
So-
we're not buying any parcels of land on
We're looking into it.
little side streets, are we?
There's one, it's not officially on the books yet, but Johnson's Farm, at the entrance to Glenwood.
Oh,
As you turn into Glenwood, there's that farm on the left. It's gonna be up for sale.
that's interesting. Probably we have first right on that.
We got first right on that.
That's a more interesting piece of property. than-
Prominent piece
Yeah.
there.
And that's one where you could combine, school, you could combine town buildings, you could combine
Community
play
center.
fields,
How big is it?
60-some acres.
Wow.
Now, there's probably about 8 to 10 acres that you can't build on, it's watershed
Okay.
or wetlands. But for the most part, can you imagine?
It's
having
not
a
like
town
that little
hall right
parcel
up the hill
down-
up
It's a
there?
nice spot.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful spot.
Yeah.
Depends what it's gonna sell for.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, everybody's looking at that land over there on Walnut, not Walnut, but off of Walnut Street, that they had the 16 acres for
Emerald?
400,000. An Emerald,
There's four or five houses already up.
yeah. They ain't wasting any time.
Yep.
Yeah, there's no way we're gonna recommend buying that. That just wasn't gonna happen from us anyways.
No, so this will be.
Then you got the trucks going in and out of there on Emerald Road, trying to pass each other.
I know. I know. You know, if they were smart, I'm sorry, they could have formed a trust fund, they could have asked for money, and they could have bought the property themselves and made a nice park out of it. I mean, but the town just didn't have the money for that. It was this piece of property, this
This other piece of property, I'm familiar with that. You see it right there when you go down a,
this piece of
Work on this
property
and
is
stuff.
gonna be only for developer. There's not gonna be any A&R property on this thing, it won't be enough. Because A&R is only property that meets the road, that you can directly enter from the driveway to the road. Well, with this set way back in, nobody's gonna spend the money to put up 7 houses along the road when you own all that other extra property. So this is gonna be a development price
yeah,
they're gonna pay for. And today, most developers don't wanna sink X number of dollars into a piece of property that they're gonna be sitting on, not now anyways, and pay top dollar for.
yeah.
I'm assuming Addison Redfield sold his 100 acres and it went for about 900,000. And his was 100 acres.
And they're all houses now.
Very developable land.
Yeah,
Same way here. So 60 acres, I'm assuming will go for 800,000.
it's a more compact 60 acres though than what Redfield had, isn't it?
No. Redfield had, well, he had some land over here, but the majority of his land was, here's the road, here's, what's the name of the road, Campbell?
Yeah,
A lot of his land was here. He owned probably about 10 or 15, 20 acres over here.
yeah.
But most of the land was on this side over here, which has got, I don't know, 6, 7 houses on it now. Looking to put up another, I think he's starting another 1 or 2. So,
Who's got that? Albert?
yeah.
I mean,
So-
you're talking about that, we're talking about a safety complex feasibility. Isn't that like right on Main Street too? I mean.
Just
that's-
about. I mean, they
Really,
come out,
that's a convenient spot.
yeah.
The town really should take a close look at
Yeah.
that, yeah.
Oh, I think there's been some discussions that we will, but officially, they have not submitted the request to the town yet for that.
Does that have any taxes that have to be back paid because it was
61 property,
61 property, yeah?
Yeah, 5 years of back taxes.
Okay.
But when you're getting maybe 800,000 or $1 million for the property, you can afford to pay
Yeah,
20
yeah.
grand or 30 grand back then, or whatever.
It's hard for me to guess what that'll go for.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna try.
Yeah.
So that's, And again, we come back to the building committee. If we buy that property, if the town buys it, at least now we have somewhere to look at the building committee, where we can go and how we can condense and that stuff. So, I mean,
That's the
again,
kind of
you brought
property
up
the
the
town
community
could use,
center.
yeah. That building, a detailed study may say you really should build a new community center, you know?
And the thing is, I don't want to spend 50.
Senior center, community center, whatever.
But I don't think the town should spend 35 or 50,000 on a metal building, if you will, that's not meeting the needs of the town.
It sort of is right now. It's used all the time.
Well,
I mean, it's not the ideal location. It meets the square footage for a senior center, community center, as per the state.
but it doesn't have the parking for it
No,
because it shares it with soccer.
yeah. That might be a location for,
You could turn that building into the recreation building. So you could have rec inside, rec outside. So, I mean, it doesn't have to get rid of it, but
you'd still have to, if you turn it into a rec building, it'd still need the repairs.
you would still need some, but you wouldn't have to spend
I don't know, that's more of a study than we're doing.
yeah,
So,
that, like I said, that's beyond us.
but does this need approval, a vote?
Not at this point.
Okay.
This is still the draft. I have to get the draft together. Once I get that, then we can do the approval on it. You guys up for an emergency meeting if we have to, just to meet for 15 minutes to get this done?
Do signatures and,
Do the signatures, review it one more time, and vote to send it off.
yeah, do that.
Okay. If all of you guys were around here, we could do it over a lunch break or something, but I'd have to post it again. Oh, you know what a pain that posting is? I got two things I gotta do. Number one, we gotta arrange a date, which we gotta talk about for next time. And then I have to arrange it with the library to make sure those dates can warrant that they have this available. I wish I had a Jewish term for it, man. Whatever. I don't know.
We could meet in the lobby and sign it on that table. I mean, you know.
Right, it doesn't matter. Okay, so we're good. Any other changes or anything on this?
No, I kind of like the document.
Okay, great, thanks. Let's look at some dates now going into, once this is done, I'd like to start maybe mid-February, working, if this goes through okay and they don't have a lot of questions for us to work on, starting next year's stuff to see where because we already know what we're doing. I just want to start lining up, so that would be the first thing I'd like to do, so. I don't think it would be a lengthy meeting, but, so let's take a look here at these dates.
Well, I mean, if you want just a quickie meeting, what, a week or 10 days or something out, I mean,
I'm thinking of maybe even, tomorrow's Friday, I could get this done, maybe even, I don't know, Monday sometime. Or if you want to go to
what,
Wednesday I could do. I'm trying to get this to Austin as soon as possible. So
well, that's what I'm assuming that's your case, so let's just do
I
a
live in
50.
town here, so I mean, I can give you a call, say, hey, I'm gonna go out, I'm gonna see Mike, I'm gonna see you, just get the paper signed, no big deal there.
Yeah, and
I
it'll be
don't need
easy
a
to
meeting
track.
to have the paper signed,
No,
just to get a formal vote on this.
you might just
So,
send us a note with the final copy to look at, and then we meet you and just sign it.
I'm also thinking of maybe, so I gotta talk to Tamika and how we could do a Zoom meeting for 15 minutes instead of meeting.
Just to sign, well, we have to sign it, so.
Right, but I'm talking about approving it. But if we want to do a meeting, so is, I
Wouldn't
can't,
that signature be?
I could do this, I can't do the 16th. I can do the 17th or the 15th.
But I can do the 17th or 18th.
I've got the 17th or 18th available.
We can't speak for
1 minute.
written, but
Yeah, I'll just have to let him know.
he's gonna have to sign it too.
I'm gonna email him a copy of this so he can see it and
Yeah,
any ideas he has.
okay.
17th would be tough.
18th? I mean, does Monday work for you guys at all?
Martin Luther King Day.
Yeah,
I'm around.
I'm around.
Yeah, I can.
I think I think
this.
this is open Martin Luther King Day.
Yeah.
I'll check. In fact, I'll go upstairs and check with them right now. Are you off Martin Luther King Day? You guys off?
I'm not,
No?
but if we do it
I'm retired.
after work, it
If you-
doesn't, yeah.
Again, we come in here,
Or even to your point, I can take, some time for lunch to just, if it's only gonna be 15 minutes or something, I can swing through middle of the day if,
where you work?
well, I'm out of a home office,
Oh,
so,
Okay.
and I don't have any travel planned that
We-
day right now.
All right.
We could make a motion on this now to approve it, so we don't have to meet for that, and then we'll collect our signatures as we, I would make a motion to approve this with the corrections as we've noted in this discussion.
Everybody happy with that?
That works for me.
Yeah, it works for me.
All right, good. Go ahead.
Let's make a motion. I'm making a motion that we approve this document as written with the corrections that we've all discussed, the typos and.
Right, but instead of document, capital budget and capital plan report.
Right,
Okay. Specify that
yeah.
with all the changes.
Capital budget and capital plan report with the changes noted. Second?
I'll second.
Any other discussion? All in favor? Dan?
CI.
Morrison, aye.
Ferguson, aye.
Second, aye.
Good.
Okay.
And now it's just a matter of getting us to sign it.
Right.
And
And if I could get that done over the weekend, or that would be great, and then get it to Austin.
you've done most of the hard work. It's just a few corrections.
Yeah.
Yeah, those will take no time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Sounds
just
good.
shoot me a text or something. We can just figure out a time
And,
to.
and it's just to sign it. You could in fact, swing by your house.
Yeah, I mean, we could meet, that's what I'm saying, there's plenty of time, opportunity. Nobody works on the weekend, so if I'm happen to be out, I can give somebody a call and say, hey, you around? Okay.
And I work from home too, so I'm around.
Do you?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so let's look at some dates for next year.
This year.
Yeah, funny how that worked out.
Next season.
Yeah, fiscal year 26.
Yeah,
Next CIPC season.
We'll meet in February. Is that what you wanna?
yeah, I don't think we need to meet anymore in January.
I'd say maybe the last week of February.
I could do that. The 15th and the 22nd, I'm leaving for vacation the 15th and won't be back till.
School
23rd.
vacation is that third week.
So those 2 weeks.
I can, yeah, once we get into the 25th, I'm gone. So 22nd, 21st, 23rd, if we have to meet on a Friday,
I'm not available that whole week.
the 19th?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm not
I thought you
available.
were done. Nothing.
I'm going on vacation, but yeah, I'm gonna be done. I've got some issues coming up, some things coming up, and they're not on the table right yet. So
I got a prospector here. So, but I'm not gonna mention anything until you tell me that you're,
I'm definitely gonna be gone at some point this winter, this spring.
well, I mean, I think your term runs out in May anyways.
Oh, does it?
I think, yeah, I'm pretty sure. I'll double check, but I think it does.
I think, well, I don't know. I think I agreed to another 3 years, not that long, maybe 1 year ago.
Let me take it.
Anita made me do all that silly, the conflict of interest stuff and everything, the
Yeah.
paperwork
To
and
do
all that.
that.
Yeah. And
Just
it
do on that.
really takes what it says, because you're going through it online. If it says 45 minutes, it's really gonna take you
Hold on a
45
second,
minutes.
Mike. Term expiration 2025.
Okay.
So you got another year and a half. That's
Well,
in May. But somebody will fill your term for the 1 year or whatever it is when you
Yeah.
decide to go.
well, are we
I
gonna,
just don't want you to feel pressured that you have to be here. I mean, your health, that's the most important thing.
yeah, and
Nope.
there are some big things going on that are kind of on hold for the moment. I know that sounds weird, but I'm gonna be meeting with a doctor Wednesday.
Okay,
And I might be looking at surgery in my esophagus.
Oh, jeez. Don't even go there, man.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, the first step might be a relatively easy one.
Well, if we may have to meet without you here then,
Yeah.
in February.
Yeah, if you meet, Michelle and I are on vacation with my nephew and his kids and everything down to Aruba. We're leaving Thursday and we'll be gone school vacation week, coming home Friday.
So does the 22nd work for you then, Dan?
No, that's school vacation week.
What, does 15th work for you?
Yeah.
Isn't the special town meeting the 15th?
Hold on. I have to relook at it. That was a possible meeting date.
You
it
had,
could
somebody
be
mentioned the
15.
last week, the 29th.
I think that's no good for Harry.
Oh,
Yeah, that's no good for
Gary's
me.
gone, yeah.
Could we push into the first week of March?
I think so. I think we can do that.
7th?
7th.
Because we don't, February now, the reports are down. We don't have a huge amount now that that's going to be done, so.
I'm gonna wait and see what the next couple of weeks holds for me. And it's possible I could send out a notice to everybody, town administrator, anything that I'm done.
Well, it doesn't, what you need to do is write a letter, and then I have to approve the letter and send it in.
So if you don't prove it, I'm stuck here forever.
That's right, Mike. What can I say? Absentia. Okay, so March, I wouldn't, probably, since we're gonna go how about the 7th of March? Or the 14th, one of those dates early on, because we're gonna be almost 7 weeks without meeting.
Either. I can do either.
Yeah, I can do either the 7th or the 14th.
Yeah,
Let's do the 7th for one.
okay.
And I don't think we're going to need April. We could start probably our regular session back in April then? Maybe looking at the third week would be the 18th of April?
That's April vacation for school.
It is?
So maybe if you want to bump that to the
11th?
25th or the 11th.
I'd probably rather go the 11th.
I can do the 11th. I can't do the 25th.
Can't do the 11th or the 25th.
I
Okay.
think I can do the 11th.
Yeah, I can do the 11th, but not the 25th.
Okay, so the 11th, so let's do it last, so that's gonna be 4/11. And let's do one more into May. In May, then we're looking at the 16th of May. That's, how does the 16th of May?
It's fine.
Works for me.
Say April was the 11th, yeah, 1, 2, 3, month 16th. And then we officially start kind of chilling out a little bit into June, July. If we can get a lot of this prep work done before then, that'll take a lot of pressure off at the end of the year. So, just if you're around, Mike, how you looking at May?
Fill in a date.
16th?
I thought you just did the 16th. I just added that.
Okay, 16th good for everybody then?
Yeah.
All right, we'll say 6:30 here in the library for all the meetings. Okay, good to go. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate that. Yes. All righty. What time is it?
7:38.
Hey, okay, do I have a motion to adjourn?
Adjourn I make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Second.
Second? Okay, any discussion? No, hearing none? All in favor?
Gracie, aye.
Horace and I.
Ferguson, aye.
Segment aye. Okay, great, thanks, guys.